Club Dub is officially open once again for the Chicago Bears as they pick up another victory, this time on Monday Night Football against the Washington Redskins. What is going on, y'all? Fox Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe. Hit that big red subscribe button down below. Turn on my post notifications because you don't want to miss out. Post a lot of football on this channel, especially Bears. So make sure to stay tuned and locked in here for the best Bears coverage. And while you're at it, turn on my post notifications so you're notified every time. And follow me on my social media, guys. I tweet a lot, especially during Bears games and just football stuff in general and NBA as well. But go ahead and follow me on there. You can ask questions. We can interact, do everything else in between. So links down below and on the screen for that. Now, Bears got a victory. A lot to get into. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get started. So we all know where everybody wants me to start. I know you guys want me to talk about the quarterback play, of course, with Mitchell Trubisky. And I will do so. But just in a second here, because once I talk about Mitch, folks, I'm not going to stop. Oh, believe me, once I get started on Mitch, I'm not going to stop. And there's a lot to say. I will break down his performance. Just wait. I just want to get a couple of quick disclaimers out of the way and a couple of quick numbers before we jump into it. So it's coming. Just hang around. Let's talk about the score itself first, 31-15. Yes, the Bears actually scored more than 30 points. I know it feels like it's been ages, and that's probably because it has. We haven't scored 30 points since last season, okay? Over the last 3, we were averaging 11 points a game. So nice to see the offense actually do something. Now, we all know the 31 points wasn't just offensive touchdowns. We had a pick 6 in there. Shout out to Clinton Dix, who had the game of his life. 2 interceptions, just played beautifully in this game, and that is why we signed him, okay? He made sure he was worth every penny. We signed him this offseason, and against his former team, might I add. So a game for Clinton Dix, a game of his life. He needs to get the game ball for his performance today. And in that same notion, let me give a quick shout out to this Bears defense, who was absolutely ferocious. This is the best defense in the NFL, folks. It is by far, okay? I'm sorry. There's no other way to put it. I know some Bears fans are going to want me to criticize the defense for their lack of, keeping the score and the Redskins from scoring the second half because they outscored us 12-3. But I'm not going to do it, folks. Nobody's perfect. This is the NFL at the end of the day. You're not going to get a shutout performance every single time. If you are able to get the type of defensive performance the Bears defense gave you today, you will be happy every single day that ends with day, okay? It was that damn good. 5 turnovers, folks, okay? 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles by Case Keenum. That's what the Bears did today, so I am not going to give them any criticism. No, sir. They balled out, and if they play like this every game, I mean, like I said, we have the best defense in the NFL. So I just want to give the defense a quick shout out. Khalil Mack, just absolute phenomenal game. I'm sure Case Keenum's going to have nightmares about him. Akeem Hicks, I hope he's okay. He ended up getting hurt. I already mentioned Clinton Dix. The secondary with Eddie Jackson and those boys, they all played pretty well. So overall, phenomenal effort by the defense. I know they had a little bit of a lapse in the second half where the Redskins, it felt like they kind of figured out the Bears defense. But again, I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to criticize the defense. They balled out. Now, with that being said, let's get to the offense and start with that. So now the time has come for what you have all been waiting for, the offense, and talking specifically about the quarterback, Mitch Trubisky. So what did I say, folks, in my preview before this game? I said, this is the game. Mitch Trubisky needs to show up and show out. There's just no way around it. It's going to be the easiest team he's faced thus far in the Washington defense. We know that Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz both carved this defense up. It's going to be on national TV primetime, which means it is another opportunity for you to prove yourself and shut up the haters and the critics. That is what I said. So I wanted a big-time performance out of Mitchell Trubisky. So what did he end up doing? Here's the numbers. 25 for 31 for 231 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Okay? So, a solid performance. I was fairly happy with Mitchell Trubisky's performance. Here's the one thing, okay? And Bears fans, I don't want you guys to, think that I'm hating on Mitch or whatnot. I'm trying to be as real as possible and also not biased here either, because when Lamar Jackson, went out and did what he did against the Dolphins and then the Cardinals, and everybody was ready to anoint him, and I said, listen, Lamar Jackson had two very good games, but they were against bad defenses. And again, you are supposed to do what you did against those bad defenses, but at the end of the day, I need to see you perform as well against teams that will actually, force you to throw. And we saw against the Chiefs when he had to keep up with Patrick Mahomes, he wasn't as good inside the pocket. So I'm not going to be over here and be biased and give Mitch Trubisky the same sort of treatment and say, oh, he absolutely balled out and Mitch had no flaws in this game. No, he did. But let's start with the positives. Okay, let me start with the positives, and let's say this. Mitch looked a lot more confident, and that is what I needed. I needed a confident Mitch, because once he got those easy completions in, and again, Matt Nagy, great play calling in the first half. This game felt like it was a tale of two halves. I'll get to Matt Nagy in a second. Mitch was confident, and he made his throws with conviction, okay? When he finally was able to get in rhythm, I mean, he was stepping in there and he was throwing darts. I know they weren't going for 25, 30 yards, but he was still delivering on time and throwing some of those into tight windows. So that was good, okay? And of course, 3 touchdowns, all 3 to Taylor Gabriel. The last one was a beauty where he just, the pass rush is coming. He's using his legs to move around, and he just uncorks it down the right sideline. And Taylor Gabriel, with just one of the greatest catches I've ever seen him make, catches the ball, and the refs think it's out. Everybody thinks it's out, and even me on the first time watching it, it looked like, okay, he didn't get 2 feet in. And then you watch it, and he gets the second foot in, and I'm just thinking, good Lord, what a throw. Now, incredible catch by Taylor Gabriel, but got to give Mitch the props there. Okay, that was a deep ball, and that was a phenomenal throw. So I love that. The 2 other touchdowns one was a great design play where, again, it was just a layup throw to Taylor Gabriel. Didn't really take too much skill there. And then again, he had another throw to Taylor Gabriel, which was off a great play design, which again, this brings me to Matt Nagy, who had a brilliant play calling in the first half. Let me stop there. In the first half, Matt Nagy had a brilliant game with the play calls. Because why? Got Mitch easy completions, got the receivers involved. I did see Anthony Miller there with that shallow cross. I wanted to see more of him, but still did get the receivers involved and helped Mitch gain his confidence. Okay, the main reason Mitch looked better, not just because the defense of the Redskins isn't very good, is because Matt Nagy was able to put him in that position. And this is the Matt Nagy that we had last year. This is the Matt Nagy that's able to take Mitchell Trubisky and able to make him comfortable and build the offense and scheme it around Mitch. So love that. But Matt Nagy has some issues with David Montgomery. I don't know if David Montgomery has some dirt on Matt Nagy, if he's blackmailed him or something, because Matt Nagy refuses to run the football with David Montgomery. In the first half, he ran it like 3 times, which was the same amount of times Cordero Patterson ran the damn football. I never want Cordero Patterson and David Montgomery to get the same amount of carries. I can't have that happen. Thankfully, in the second half, when we were trying to run the football and run the clock out, he finally gave the ball to Montgomery, who had 13 carries for 67 yards. That's almost 5.2 yards a carry. Good things finally started to happen, okay? So, Matt Nagy, first half, great play calling, but he still is not using, David Montgomery enough. The run game needs to be incorporated more. David Montgomery, every time he touches the ball, good things happen, folks. He makes something out of nothing. You need David Montgomery, Matt Nagy. You need to start playing him. Please use him, okay? Use him, okay? This is why we got rid of Jordan Howard. Use David Montgomery. Now, let's talk about the bad. Let's start with the 1 interception, because again, we had hoped that Mitch would play a turnover-free game, but he did have 1 interception in the red zone. He tried to throw a fade route to Allen Robinson, and it was picked off by Josh Norman. Now, a couple things here. Number 1, that ball was underthrown. There's no way around it. Mitch, you can't do that. You got to lob it up more for Allen Robinson, who's bigger, taller, and can get that jump ball over Josh Norman. And Josh Norman is not the same Josh Norman we knew. He has been getting dusted by receivers. So I would have had no, qualms to think that Allen Robinson could go up and get it. Mitch just underthrew that ball. He just did. Okay, that's just what it is. But the second thing here is, and I don't mean to, take the blame off Mitch. That was a bad throw. But I don't know why Matt Nagy's calling a fade route on that, play in the red zone, okay? This is where, like I mentioned, you need to run the football, okay? And I need to see more runs here because a fade route, man, maybe it's just me. I'm not a big fan of the fade route because to me, it's such a 50-50 ball when you're throwing it. I'm more of a guy where you're doing creative play designs and you're scheming guys open, not just throwing up a 50-50 ball. Yeah, sometimes it works when you've got guys like Julio Jones and you've got, big receivers like Mike Evans. But sometimes you need to run the football or you need to develop a strategic play design there, okay? So I wasn't a fan of, obviously, Mitch making that mistake there, underthrowing the football, and then Matt Nagy calling that play in the first place. It probably shouldn't have been called, okay? So that's the first thing with the interception. That was completely on Mitch. This wasn't one of those tip balls or something like that. I would have called it out. The other thing, Mitch Trubisky did miss a number of throws. He had a couple of passes where he tried on the left sideline to Tariq Cohen, just way overthrew him. Had a ball that flew over one of the receivers as well. It was too high. Now, a couple of these, there were penalties called, but the ball could have still been delivered. And on one of those, the offsides was called on the defense. So it was a free play, and Mitch still missed the ball. So there's still accuracy issues here, folks, with Mitchell Trubisky, which, again, it's not encouraging because, it's the third year for Mitch, and he should be able to make these passes. But too many times, he's still erratic with the football, and the accuracy just kind of comes and goes. So that's not good. And again, it's a Redskins defense, which is not very good. So you should be carving it up more than you did. But that's just how it went for Mitchell Trubisky. Now, I will say on a couple of those, Tariq Cohen didn't catch a football. I thought he could have. But Anthony Miller, again, Mitch could have just threw it right to him in the breadbasket. Just overthrows it a little bit. So don't like that for Mitchell Trubisky. And this is the issue, man. He's still having some problems with accuracy. He still gets happy feet in the pocket. Now, this is a big improvement from games 1 and 2. But again, I can't be biased. I just won't do it, okay? This is against the Washington Redskins. I need to see better. Mitch could have had 5 touchdowns in this game. He could have had 6, folks. I'm serious. He could have had more touchdowns in this game, and I want more from Mitch. And I believe he can do it, okay? But it needs to happen. But the accuracy is still an issue because it comes and goes. So now that I've talked about all that, where does that put me at with the Chicago Bears? And here's where I'm at. We're 2-1, okay, heading into week 4. We lost game 1 against the Packers by just a touchdown. We almost could have won that game. And we've beaten a Denver team and a Washington team. Now, 2 inferior opponents, but still, the Washington Redskins team, and I talked about this in my preview, even though they're a bad defense, they're not a doormat like the Dolphins have been or the Jets have been. They've actually been competitive, okay? And we pretty much washed them, okay? I know in the second half, Case Keenum got a lot of garbage time, yardage, and touchdowns, but again, it was a blowout in the first half, 28-3, okay? So we blew them out, which is a positive. And against the Broncos, we won that game. A little bit fluky on a field goal, but we did win it. So I'm still having mixed feelings about the Bears. I feel good that we're 2-1. I really do. And I still do believe this team is a contender. But the NFC North is a bloodbath. I mean, my God, the Packers undefeated. The Lions haven't lost a game. They've tied. They haven't lost yet. And then the Vikings, they look very good. They've only lost one game as well. So, and we play the Vikings next week. So preview for that coming out very soon. So, like I said, loved what I saw from the defense. Good step forward. Step forward, okay? Not like I'm sold yet. Step forward for the offense. Needs to keep progressing. Matt Nagy run the football. Mitch get more accurate. But the ingredients are there. And at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for from a Super Bowl contender. Even if you're not playing like one, do you have the ingredients to compete? And right now, you can still say the Bears do. I know it seems far-fetched, but hear me out, okay? Let's take it game by game. as long as the offense keeps progressing. You saw today what Mitch can do when the offense is designed right around him and when you're able to utilize his strengths. Okay, he's not a liability. He's not. Okay, people want to make him out to seem like he is, but he's not. And we've got a world-class defense, folks. Okay, so like I said, 2-1, feeling good, but I'm still trying to stay realistic. Let's keep building off of this, and let's move forward. Minnesota next week at home. That's going to be a tough game, but I'll post a preview for that. So there you have, folks, my thoughts on the Bears with victory. I can't even speak right now because so hyped against the Washington Redskins. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with my thoughts. Leave a comment down below. What you guys think of the game, man? Let me know your thoughts about Mitch's performance. Obviously, how he did. Shout out to Taylor Gabriel, by the way. Great game, 6 catches, 75 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he did get concussed at the end. I hope he's okay. Maybe this is a chance for Anthony Miller to step up. So let's see what happens. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Any thoughts you guys have about the game, let me know down below. Reach out to me on Twitter as well. As always, thanks for watching.